Jesus Christ. It's been so long. I didn't forgot how to do this thing. Okay, yeah, it's been a while. Welcome back. It's your boy. I know you missed me. I've missed you too. I've missed your feet. I've been thinking about your feet and I miss them. Um, it's not like I'm one of those feet guys or anything. I just been thinking about your feet. Anyway, hey everybody. So right now there's nobody in here. So it's just me and you. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. Anyway, this is a question and answer I'll be doing today. I haven't done a question and answer ever, really. I mean, I get on here and I'm like, hey, you got any questions for me? I'll answer them. But I haven't done a purely dedicated like question and answer, you dig. And since I'm in a good mood and I feel like recording and I feel like getting back with my peeps, I'm going to have a question and answer. So here we go. Oh, Rob-ish. Rob 3000-ish. What up, man? Okay. So let's get right to the questions. So I went on Twitter and I was all like, hey, you guys, I'm going to film a question and answer. And then a ton of people gave me a ton of questions. And by a ton, I mean 2. So I'm going to address those 2 questions that I got on Twitter. Let me pull that up right quick. Okay, here we go. First question. Very important question, very necessary question in this day and age. But let's get right to it. The first question is, who has the better burger, McDonald's or Portillo's? Now, you know, I'm an ex-Jehovah Witness. This is a very, very serious community and subject that I talk about. But I don't know if it beats what's the best tasting burger between Portillo's and McDonald's. I mean, this is important stuff. So let me give it the attention it deserves. First off, Portillo's burgers, not that good. Not that good. You think that they'd be better because they put so much time, energy, and effort and so much money that, you know what I mean, it costs a lot of money. Not that good. I don't even get their burgers when I go there. I get their Italian beef combo. That's an Italian sausage with the beef inside of it. Oh, and they dip it in the juice. Oh my God, the Portillo's Italian beef. And that's not even the best. The best is Al's beef Italian beef combo. It's a long story. I put it like this. McDonald's has the better tasting burger. Portillo's have the bigger burger. I go with taste over size any day. But if you want to get the best burger, you want to probably go to Epic Burger. They have probably the best burger. If you want to get the best bang for your buck, you want to go to Burger King. That's my favorite. I get that Bacon King. Oh, bomb.com. You're not scared of me. Anyway, Jay, why don't they believe in hell? Okay, well, I was going to do my next question, but you know what? Even better. Well, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in hell because they like to be different. You know what I mean? The Jehovah's Witnesses really like to go different than everybody else. I believe personally in an attempt to get more attention, because when you get attention, you can use attention to benefit yourself. And I believe that's the same reason they don't take blood and they don't celebrate holidays and stuff like that. I believe most of that is done simply as like an advertising ploy. Like they have people asking questions like, why don't you celebrate birthdays? Or why don't you celebrate holidays? Because just think about it. The Jehovah's Witnesses did do that. 2 things would happen. 1, they wouldn't be asked questions. And 2, you'd associate outside your organization. And if you even associate and build relationships outside the organization, it's hard to punish them with the restricting of the association, the biggest, the shunning tool, which is their biggest disciplinary tool that they have. So basically, I went off on a complete tangent, but that is why I believe they don't believe in hell, because it gives people the opportunity to ask them, well, why don't you believe in hell? And then they get to whip out their reasoning from the scriptures book, or they can whip out their Bible or their articles and whatnot, and then hopefully, maybe bring in an unexpected victim. In my opinion. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me just fine? Boom, 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 boom. Because I haven't done this in a while, so I don't know if I got everything set up correctly. I hope I do. I'm not sure though. Anyway, let's go to the next questiones. Do you have any regrets? I do. There were so many things I could have been had I not been raised in a cult. Some people say I got out at 20. What's stopping me? No guidance, no family. I was too busy learning how the world operates. I didn't even know what a checking account was. Now, I have those same regrets because when you're raised in that organization, you have this, you don't get socialized appropriately. You don't learn the stuff that you need to learn at the ages in which you need to learn it. Like, it's certain things that I should have learned in preschool. There's certain things I should have learned in grade school, certain things I should have learned in high school, and so on and so forth. But when you're a Jehovah's Witness, all those socialization skills and interactions, you don't learn. And once you leave the organization, now you have to learn that while also being an adult, especially if you left while you're an adult. Do you know how hard it is to learn children stuff you should have learned when you were a kid as an adult? It's incredibly hard to do. In some cases, it's almost impossible, but it's something you need to do because in order to be truly free, you have to pay the cost of being free. And a lot of that times is sacrifice. So when you leave that organization, it's a time for you to focus on yourself, what you like, what you don't like, how things work, how the world actually works and how you fit in that world and how things make you happy. Because if you don't focus on yourself and you don't focus on what brings you joy, it's going to be hard to focus on other people and bring them joy, to help other people, to love other people if you can't help or love yourself. So I have a bunch of regrets as far as like not being socialized the appropriate way. But at the same time, I am happy to know that, you know what I mean? Like to know that I'm free and that the stuff that was done to me was wrong. And the fact that I know that now I can use that to build my life going forward, you know? And yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. I got stuff on my mind, baby. Give me them questions. Jay, did you know they had a JW that was a nurse on the convention video? That mean she had a 4-year degree in higher education, frowned upon, frowned upon. So why would they do that, you think? Well, that's the funny thing about the organization. When they can use people, they will use people. If they can get you, and you let's say like, if you can get somebody after they went to college or whatever, and then they join the organization, then whatever skills they learned before then is like, yeah, well, good. Glad you can bring those skills over to the organization. But if they were born in an organization and they did that, they'd still use those skills as long as they show faithfulness to the organization. The problem is the risk that they don't want to take is that if people make the conscious effort, or if they were to be like pushed or allowed to seek further and higher education, they learn that they're intelligent, that they're smart, and they learn how to ask questions and only accept answers that make sense. And they also kind of build up a barrier against being controlled, especially by somebody who hasn't put in the hard work, blood, sweat, and tears to achieve what they have achieved. So that just doesn't work for the organization. So if they can get somebody to ignore all that and stay inside the organization and still be used by the organization, they're going to use them 100%. But they're also really, really going to make sure that people don't try and get a higher education because they risk losing those people. So there's that. Yes, I'm loud and clear. That's what I'm talking about. Why do JWs use the word spiritual all the time? Why do they use the word spiritual all the time? Well, because when it comes to organization as a whole, like the entire organization, they have to make everything about God. They have to make every single thing about spirituality and try to keep your mind off of what's in front of you. You know what I mean? Whenever we're talking about spiritual things, whenever we're talking about godly things, a lot of the stuff that they're referring to, you cannot test, you cannot see, you cannot talk to it, you cannot interact with it. It's just basically you putting all your energy and effort into something that doesn't give you anything back. They want to get people used to that. That's why they stay in the spiritual realm so much. Oh, you got to think about this spiritually. Think about your spiritual this. Think about your spiritual that. Because if you're thinking about your spiritual this and your spiritual that, you're not thinking about your physical this and your physical that. That's why so many people will put more stock and energy into their spiritual relationship with Jehovah than their actual physical relationship with their own child or their own husband or their own parents. They can cut off an actual real physical relationship that you can see, interact with, benefit from, and use for cut off a spiritual relationship that they have nothing that they gain from it really, except a hope of something after you die. That's the most you can get from your spiritual relationship. And they're willing to cut off every real relationship they have, build up their spiritual relationship. That's why the Jehovah's Witnesses put so much energy and stock into, the spirit, oh, spiritual this, spiritual that, spiritual this, because they want you to think and believe. And if you say anything repetitively enough and continuously enough, you're going to really mentally start to put value into that thing. So they talk spirituality a whole bunch. They really put a lot of energy, time, and effort into spirituality because they need their members to put more value into spirituality than they do people who can leave and think for themselves and possibly bring others with them. So in my humble opinion, that's why I think they put so much thought and energy into the whole spirituality thing, my jig. It's kind of meaning, did everyone who wants remembers to thumb up? I hope you thumbed up. Now we're picking them up. So I'm going to continue to just talk to you good folks. Anyway, see what other good questions y'all got. Y'all ain't asking no questions on here. Let me go to Facebook because I had a couple questions on there, I think. Let me see. Let me pull it up. J. Scott. I don't know if y'all ever follow me on Face of the Book. Follow me on Facebook. You see that? Look at that sexy Malcolm X pose I got right there. I'm just thinking. You know what I'm saying? Y'all better learn. I be thinking sometimes. I be having thoughts. Anyway, let's see what questions I have. Why are you so funny and can sing? Thank you for believing I'm funny. That really builds up my ego. And you think I can sing? I do the same song every single time. Like if I ask my kids, they say the same thing. All I say is, ho, ho, yeah. Now I cannot sing. I just say that part all the time. Like even like no matter what the song is, I end it that way. I'm like 800, 588, 2300, Empire, ho, ho, yeah. Now I cannot sing. But I do sing that part the same way all the time. Next question. That was a good question. Could you talk about Jehovah's powerlessness and perpetual silence? It's fascinating how we never question that. We subconsciously create so many absurd rules to make ourselves believe in his existence, though in any other area of life, we would see ourselves as nuts for promoting believing in such garbage on the basis of those rules. All right. That's a hell of a question right now. Okay, let's deal with it. Let's jump right into it. Well, it's not just Jehovah's silence. It's not just Jehovah's ability to or inability to act, or at this point it'd be like he's complicit in a lot of the bad things that go on in the world. It's not just him though. It's literally every single God ever. And people like Jay, how could you be atheist? Like, I don't get it. There's so much evidence of God. If there is evidence of God, then why is all the evidence exactly the same for every single God? Why isn't any God different than any other God? Like every God cannot talk to you. Will not talk to you. God, please talk to me right now if you can. I'll really use your voice. He's not going to talk back. he's not gonna pull up at your dinner table one day like, hey y'all, I'm God. Yeah, I know. I could have did this earlier. I was busy, obviously. He's not gonna do that. And he's gonna ask for money. But he's not gonna ask for money. His people that work for him is gonna ask for money. And yeah, and it's usually you have to suffer or go through these crazy hardships in order to be his to make him happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to make God happy, you can't like pleasure yourself, or you can't have premarital relationships because God, he be watching them turtles get down, and he's okay with it. Like, and them turtles, they be nasty. Them turtles be hitting it from the back and pulling hair and all. Well, they don't pull hair because they ain't got none, but they be like, oh, like, I don't know if you ever seen like some turtles getting down. Google it. It's hilarious. They're nasty, but it's hilarious. But for some reason, when humans do it, he has a major problem with it, and it angers him so much. Now, he doesn't say that, but some book that some humans happen to write, and some humans happen to tell you what God thinks and how he feels. It's always like, it's never just like straight from God. It's always through. It has to be through some people or whatever. But I'm saying all that basically to say God doesn't exist, and people they do so many mental gymnastics just so they could believe that God does exist. Like, it's so many mental gymnastics that they're willing to take. And the reason that the Jehovah's Witnesses are so successful and are able to get away with all the horrible things that they can get away with is because the very first foundation that they have. If people believe in God, then the Jehovah's Witnesses and every other religion can use that foundation to build all type of crazy stuff up. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you believe in God? That's great. Oh, believe that there's something wrong with gay people, and now you also have to believe that women are disgusting for having their monthly cycle. At least that's what they used to believe. You have to believe, for especially like Muslim women, you have to cover up your body from head to toe, and like Jewish people, they gotta wear like those hats and those little like curls on the side. It's just, religion is just silly. It's silly. It's so silly. But it all starts with that basic foundation. And once you start off with that foundation, these religious leaders and preachers, and they can get you to do, like, if you go on the internet, I've seen Latin women and throwing them across the room and doing all type of crazy stuff just because these people believe in God. And they use that belief to get money, to build up wealth, to build these humongous mega structured churches, and it's not really doing anything for the people. But the reason God is silent, and the reason God has not stepped up, which he could easily do if you believe in God, is because he's not real. You can't force and imagine, like, the same way Santa Claus never comes down and actually like, hey, here, man, here's your gift. Not real. He'll never show up. Neither will God. Anyway, good question, but next question. Jay, why do I have to watch 257 ads before this video started? Because YouTube is very greedy. Anyway, next question. Let me see what else we got. I think I had one on here. No, I only had 2 questions. Man, I'm sick of my social media. People don't be paying me no attention. I be like, ask me questions, and then I don't get no questions. Humans are heathens, but animals, well, animals are heathens too. You should see how bad them sea lions are. They be all humping up on the penguins against their consent. They be banging penguins against their consent. The sea lions, you need to look it up. They horrific. Horrificable. Let me see, what else we got? I know y'all got a question. Why is it that when I celebrate my birthday, I get looked at differently or weird? Well, I mean, I got a question as far as like, well, if you've gone your entire life and you've never celebrated your birthday, it haven't gotten like boring to you. You know what I mean? Like, people who've been celebrating their birthday their entire life, at a certain age, it becomes routine. So there's like a certain like non-excitement that you get from your birthday. At least this is what I think, you know what I mean? So other people see that and they're used to it and they expect that. But when you spend the better part of your life not celebrating your birthday, and then when you are celebrating it every year, you really appreciate it. So you have to appreciate your birthday a lot harder than other people. And the people who are like used to it is like, it's his birthday and all, but Buddy is up there with no shirt on, drinking 3 bottles of liquor out of one hand. He going hamburger. Like that's probably why. Like because you go a little bit harder and you appreciate it a little bit more when you haven't had it your entire life. That's probably why they look at everybody celebrating their birthday so like, oh God. Let me see. I think it's MK Ultra conditioning. Keyword like spirituality, faith, and faith is great tribulation, spiritual food, etc. Yep. Agreed. My partners have never been to JW. They are brown away. They are blown away with the things I tell them. Yep. Fact. Okay. My dad is an overseer, and me and my brother are not in JW anymore, but his wife is now an unbaptized publisher. She's making us look bad. LOL. Oh, give it time. See, this is the thing. When people first join an organization, they feel like especially if they really believe. Like some people do it just because they like somebody. And they're like, oh, I want to be in this relationship. I got to be in this organization to be in this relationship or whatever. But when some people join and they really believe, they feel like they just got a cheat code in life. They're like, oh my God, I just found the true religion. And it takes them a while. But eventually they're like, man, these meetings are all the same. And I don't like the way these elders is talking to me. And these rules and regulations, like I like hanging out with my old buddies and stuff. Y'all ain't gonna tell me who I can and cannot hang out with. Like once that sets in, then it gets fun after that. Because it's hard to get out of. And you have those internal battles that happen when you're when you didn't grow up in the organization, you know what I mean? So it gets difficult after a while. Okay, let me see what else you got. I very much like the stand-up kind of videos you've done in the past. For example, the comparison of joining the JWs and buying a car. That was awesome. Yeah, you missed those videos. I should go back to those, right? I should make some more. I should I've been thinking about doing a podcast. What y'all think about that? Should I do a podcast where I can just sit down and just speak my mind and just talk about stuff that's been going through my brain? I've been thinking about it. Maybe I should. Maybe I will. I think I will. I'm going to put more energy and effort into my Patreon, which is nothing to do with my podcast, but I do want to start making more videos, getting the habit of really like putting stuff out there and helping people like recover from brainwashing and all that good stuff. And yeah, so if you need help, you can like go to my Patreon, sign up. I'm going to be putting out a lot of videos like to just help people figure out how to get over that stuff. But anyway, I'll leave a description, how to get to my Patreon. It'll be in the description. I should put in the comments right now. I'll put it in the comments right now. Just check out the comments. Keep writing me while I try to type out what is my name on Patreon. How do you spell Patreon? I'm a little stupid. Do. Jay the Comedian. I don't know if that's right, but I don't know. Click the link. Let me know if it works. If it doesn't, then that's probably what it is. Yeah. If you can't even afford the Patreon, just let me know. I'll send you the videos. You know what I mean? Because it's all right. It's all good. I ain't here to make money. I need money, but I'll send you the videos if you ask for them. You know what I mean? Because y'all my peeps, and I love my peeps. Never give them the satisfaction. God, why can't I read today? Have you ever watched Scientology document and were glad that JW is the worst thing you had to deal with? Let me read that again. Have you ever watched a Scientology documentary and were glad that JW is the worst thing you had to deal with? I did watch the Scientology stuff with Leah Remedy, and And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't feel like, well, the JWs got it better. I felt like, hey, they're exactly like the JWs. Like I felt like it was the exact thing, like literally at every turn. Instead of apostates, they have a suppressive person. They rip family members apart. They really they want people to restrict their association outside the organization. And they got people paying like they don't play around with their money. They be like, we need $100,000 from you, buddy. They they get their money in Scientology. And then instead of going to Bethel, they got like a ship or something like that. Something. But it's all like the same though, you know, like they have like a little governing body, David Mistasif or something like that. I forgot his name, but that organization, I didn't feel like it's worse than the Jehovah's Witnesses. I feel like it's like the same. They're both horrible cults that should be done away with. Anyway, let me see what else y'all got. Hey Jay, shout out from Cyprus. I don't know how to. I'm not good at reading. I hate reading, but I think that says Cyrus. But I could be wrong. It's the P silent. There's some silent letters that get me all the time. Yeah, the Scientology documentary was very similar to the JWs. Exactly. When I saw it, I was like, Jesus Christ, that sounds exactly like the JW stuff. You know what I mean? Hey there, all you thirsty ones. Oh, that was funny, man. Yeah. Who's calling me? Who dare? Look at this spam. You know what? Because I'm on live, I'm going to answer. Watch this. Speaker. Hi, this is Jay. How can I help you? Hello?
Hey, this is Adam with Senior Health Benefits. How are you doing today?
I am good. You said senior health benefits?
Yeah. By the way, sir, we are looking for the senior citizen. You are one of the senior citizens?
Wait, first off, who are you calling a senior citizen? I am a beautiful 39 years old.
90 years old?
I said 39. I didn't say 90.
39 years old. Have a good day, sir. Bye-bye.
So I can't get no senior. Oh, you hung up on me. I can't get no senior care, huh? I tell you, boy, these Middle Eastern scammers, bro. These Middle Eastern scammers get me every time. Anyway, forget them fools. Stop calling my phone. I still had the like flip phone that you just like, you know, close real hard. Anyway, what else we got here? Man just said I'm 90 years old. I'm like, oh, according to my record, you're 90. Son of a bitch. All right, anyway, what other questions y'all got for me? Whenever the J-Dubs get a new answer, they call it new light. How come they don't call old truth new truth? Well, they got to make it shiny. You know what I mean? And the best way to make things shiny is to add light. No, I think most of the reason they do stuff like that is because they're very conscious of the power of words, and it's certain words they don't want to touch, you know, like the truth. They need to always be telling the truth, and they need to never be wrong. That's why even when they are wrong, instead of saying, hey, we were wrong, we got new light, which means like, you know, well, we got some new information, and the old information, while it was good, this information is even better. Like, wait, that means the information you had was wrong, but they can't be wrong, because when you're running a cult and you work for God and you try to get people to believe that God is almighty, all powerful, all knowing, all intelligent, all great, you know what I mean? He can't make mistakes. So you owning up to mistakes or owning up to getting things wrong that's like obviously wrong, and you're obviously gonna have to go back on it. That means that maybe you don't work for God. Maybe God doesn't give you his blessings. So in that respect, you have to like do some wiggling around, you know. So they like to play with words. They don't play with the word truth though, because they literally took the word truth and made it their name. Like, oh, this is the truth. We're in the truth. Like, even now, I've seen so many like ex-Jehovah's Witnesses leave the organization and still say, like, well, back when I left the truth, like it's because it's so ingrained in us, you know what I mean? That we still look, we don't even look at it as like a name, you know what I mean? Or we don't look at it as a word that describes the act of not lying, you know what I mean? The act of being like forthcoming with information. I'm trying to give you the definition of truth without saying, well, the act of being truthful, you know. But uh, they like to play with words, and the reason they use new light is just a simple way of not saying, hey, we're wrong. We were wrong about something, but now we have the right information. That's all that is. It's nothing too like important about it, you know. Not a lot of thought went into it. You know, that's kind of meaning. How long do you think till Netflix drops a JW documentary? Seems like they covered many crimes, cults. So fingers crossed. You know, I don't know. I have no idea. But it would be a very good things for them to drop for extra witnesses. The problem is that companies like Netflix, they like to make money, and there's only 9 million Jehovah Witnesses. I don't know how many extra Jehovah Witnesses it is, but none of the Jehovah Witnesses is going to watch it, especially if the organization say, hey, don't watch it. So the major majority of the JWs won't watch it, and the ExJws will watch it. But I just don't think it's enough of us for them to be like, oh, we have 40 million streams, and you know, this all the money and effort we put into making this thing is going to pay off dividends. Like, because Netflix ain't out here to like, you know, bring light to like areas that need attention put on it. They out here to make money, you know. Like they didn't put this Jeffrey Dahmer movie out because they're like, hey, you know, this story needs to be told. They're like, no, we see an opportunity to make money, and that's what they do. So I wouldn't hold my breath on them making anything Jehovah Witness focus until, especially nothing really good, until there's a big enough market for it to whereas they feel like they can make a lot of money. Like if something big happened, like the Jehovah's Witness organization got caught doing something crazy and it got a lot of media attention, then they put something out. But outside of that, they're not gonna just, you know, on their own just put something out when it's not a market for it, unfortunately. Like it's just not enough people to watch it or who's asking for it in order for them to put the time, energy, and effort into getting it out there. Now, beautiful part is there are a bunch of people who like on their own could put out a documentary or something like that. And if it's up to the, you know, standards and if it's good enough, they'll pick it up. They may buy it. They may look at it. But it has to be good enough. And once again, it has to be a market for it for them to put it on their platform. But fingers crossed. I hope it happens. My mother speaks to my siblings that never went back to become disfellowship. Let me see it once again. My own mother speaks to my siblings that never went back to become disfellowship. But I am disfellowship, and she won't speak to me. It blows my mind. That is absolutely true. And it's nonsensical. It's so nonsensical. I have a friend who he has several sisters, and some of his sisters just like, no, I don't ever want to be a Jehovah's Witness. I don't ever want to have anything to do with them. I'm straight. And the parents love them, just embrace them, invite them over. Like, yeah, they don't even talk about the organization, it's whatever, right? But the kids who are like, yo, I want to be a part of this. I got baptized and I want to be in it. And then they grew up and they eventually got disfellowship, or they, you know, they lost some of the interest for the organization. They don't want to have nothing to do with them. The people who actually show interest in the organization, you can't have anything to do with, but the people who never loved it and who's never gonna love it, you can still embrace them. You can still invite them to events and stuff like that. That is obviously nuts. Like that's like it's obviously crazy. But it doesn't matter. Because when you're in these religions, things making sense is not the priority. Doing what you're told is the priority, especially when it comes to being a Jehovah's Witness. Things making sense, like objectively, like you can see it. You can see and feel that it doesn't make any sense. And I remember when I was in the organization, I always felt like, yo, this don't make no sense. What sense does this make? But I could never question it. You can never question it. Inside the organization, you will get in more trouble questioning things than you will by just shutting up and just going along for the ride. That's crazy to me. But it's true. It's true. I've seen so many families get ripped apart and get like it just because when you're inside the organization and you grow apart from it, you think that, okay, if this is God, he could read my heart and he would know how I feel. And he don't need my family or anybody else to punish me. He's more than capable of punishing me himself, right? But no, this organization, they punish you. Like before you become baptized when you're a child, instead of getting this fellowship and all this stuff, your parents would physically punish you. Oh, you going over people's house that ain't Jehovah's Witnesses? I used to get spankings for that. Oh, you got this person's phone number and they're not a Jehovah's Witness? I used to get on punishment for that. Like that's the punishments I would receive for not following the Bible. Again, at that time, wasn't baptized. I was a little kid. But I was still being held to the standards of somebody who was baptized. And then once I was old enough to get baptized, now the elders can punish me. and it goes so on and so forth. But to me, all that stuff is nuts and it shouldn't happen. But it does happen. And it should be obvious, man. What the hell? Have you been working any open mics in your area? I have not. And I'm angry about it because my life this last year has been, well, last 2 years, ever since COVID, my life has been turned upside down. I don't always talk about like my home life and stuff like that, but I've been through a lot, you know what I mean? And I'm working on that, you know? So I haven't been putting the time, energy, and effort into my comedy that I want to. The great part is I already have my hour. I just got to work on the material. So what I'm going to do is take some of my own advice and focus on myself and actually go back to, you know, the open mics and stuff, testing out all my material, because now that I have the material, and if, you know, the material is good enough in the rooms, I know it'll be good enough when I do my hour comedy special, which I'm still working on. And I'm still proud that I'm working on that. And once I get that all settled up and done, I'm going to put it out and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going to be happy. And then I'm going to work on another one because that's my dream. I want to do stand-up comedy. So yeah, I'm still working on it. I know some places, I just haven't been there. I've just been, it's been difficult. You know what I mean? Figuring out a lot of stuff and dealing with the underlying stuff that I don't even know about. One of the things that I learned was that like your mind is, you have your mind, your body, and your consciousness. And those three things work together. But when you're a Jehovah's Witness, your consciousness is fine. You feel like, man, I should be a certain spot, but you don't realize that your consciousness and your mind battle each other all the time. Your consciousness is saying, okay, Jay, this is what you need to do, and this is how you're going to do it. While your mind is saying, your stupid ass ain't going to be able to do that. I'm like, wait, yes, I can. I can do that. You're like, no, you can't. Stop fronting. So I have that internal battle, and I'm figuring out how to win that battle more and more. But sometimes you gotta just put your head down and push through. But the last 2 years with the like seclusion and just focusing on my family and making sure everybody's okay and and still not being where I want to be at in life, it's been rough. So it's hard to follow your dreams and follow your aspirations when you're not where you want to be in life. You want everything to be handled, then you can do the other stuff. So I goes through it. You know, it's got a meaning, but we all do. That's the community. That's the life we chose. The price of freedom ain't free, but it is worth it. Could you do an entire set on your experience with the bidet? It was hilarious. I still got that bidet, and I freaking love it. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. Now I when I first got this bidet, it was because it was like, oh, you know, they bind up all the tissue. You're gonna need a way to wash your butt without using tissue. So I bought the bidet, and the bidet is powerful. I just put it like that. The water be going in places that I don't want it to go in, but I feel freaking spotless when I get off that thing. Though I feel cleaner than a board of health. But the bidet is interesting. I would tell people to get it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to be like firm in your manhood to get a bidet because it's gonna be tested a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's crazy. Sometimes that family feeling is what I miss. Yep, I know exactly. Like I have a huge family, and due to the fact that some are in and some are out, my family, a lot of them are close, but they're not close like to me. You know what I mean? Like people in my family, like they'll call me rarely. You know what I mean? Like I have my sister Vicky. She called me all the time, and she's like devout, but she loved me to death. I'm her little brother, and she called me just to check up and just to see what's up. My other sisters, some of them, they hit me up online all the time. They tell me that they love me, and they send me text messages like. But some I haven't heard from in years, years, literally. But it is what it is, you know. You get dealt this hand in life, and you got to make the most of it. Fortunately, I have a family at home that love me, and I love myself, and I'm gonna keep working on myself to get myself to the best spot possible. And at the end of the day, you gotta take what you have and make the best of it. If you lost your family due to this cult, you need to get another family. It's hard to say, it's even harder to realize, but it's something that you're just gonna have to do because if you spend your life, your one life, waiting on people who are not, who could literally just pick up a phone and be in your life, it's not worth the wait. You can go get you another family. Make sure there's some people that's worthy of you, worthy of your time, and make you feel good and make you realize and live up to the potential that you have inside of you. Because if you're even able to leave this organization, that in itself is a feat that's worthy of an award because it's no weak person can do that. You know, I've seen plenty of strong people who just simply can't leave that organization. So you got respect and love for me and admiration for just having the strength to leave. And if you had to make the incredible sacrifice of leaving your family or getting left by your family and making that decision, then like I say, more respect and more power to you. Build another life now. You'll be all right. Trust me. Greetings, my ex-brother, or I mean brother. I am an ExJw. What up, bro? How you feeling, Oscar with C? You could do an entire set. Oh, yeah, I read that already. I so can't relate. Oh, you can relate. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, man. Okay, so my kids should be home any second now. But more than anything else, I miss you guys. I haven't talked to you in a while, and I'm glad to be able to, you know, have these discussions. I'm going to have more. If you want to sign up for my Patreon, you can go ahead. I'll be putting out more information there. I think I'm going to do a podcast. I think I will. It just, I find it more therapeutic, and I feel better whenever I can get these thoughts and stuff out of my head and out of my mouth. And especially if it can go to other people and it can help them out and possibly help them improve their situation. So thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for the questions. And I guess I'll see you later. Holla Chiguala. Deuces.